Hello everyone, welcome back to Guided Pilates. If you're new, welcome, my name is Emma and today I'm bringing you an abs routine which is great for anyone that's not able to maybe crunch up. So things like neck pain, back pain, even wrist and knee pain, because we're going to be all on our back today. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already, grab yourself a little bit of space and let's get ready to go. If we haven't met before, by the way, I was saying my name is Emma and this is my guide dog Archie, who has chosen to just plonk himself here. I do also apologise about the strips of light. I can't shut the blinds, so we've got strips of sunlight, which is great. But I do try to audio describe everything in as much detail as possible so that other blind people can also follow along and we get in touch with our senses of this class, very mindful Pilates. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already and let's come down onto the mat. So I'm actually going to grab a block, I think, if I can find one. Oh yes, I found one. We're not going just yet. So if you want a block or a pillow for behind your head, then do so. But yeah, let's come down onto our back. So, make sure, hi, oh my goodness. That is a lovely down dog. We're gonna rest the back of our head down onto the mat. Archie's gonna pin down my arm. We're gonna let our shoulders melt into the mat. Feel the back of the pelvis being supported by the mat. And let's have our feet in so our heels are underneath our knees. I want you to feel this lovely length going through the lower back and the back of the neck. So we're not ramming our back into the mat. We're also not arching all the way up. And let's take a lovely deep breath in through the nose, filling out the entire body from head to toe. And as we exhale, pull the abdominals away from your clothing. And start to feel your abdominals switching on. As you now breathe in again, try to only breathe into the lower part of your rib cage. Allowing those deep core muscles to stay switched on throughout the rest of the class. As we're here breathing into the rib cage, just start to zone out from everything that you've got planned for the rest of the day. And let's just be a little bit more present on our mat. Noticing where that air is going in your rib cage. Maybe tuning in a little bit more to the sounds around you, the temperature of the room, and how you're feeling today. Good. From here, hands can rest onto our pelvis. Mine has to be, of course, stroking Archie, though, with the other hand. We're going to tip our pelvis in towards us, rolling our hip bones in towards our rib cage. Feel those deep abdominals switching on. Relax your glutes, relax your thighs. Press your shoulder blades back down to the mat if they've peeled off. And then release back to a natural curve. So we go again, we tip the pelvis in, we roll our hip bones in towards the rib cage. Feel those deep abdominals. And release. Good, maybe on the next one, we're flat on the back. We tip the hips in a bit more. Can we lift our tailbone, press into our feet, and start to roll up into a lovely bridge, where we've now got a straight line going from our knees all the way to our shoulders. And then we roll down, and I want you to feel each part of the spine coming down bone by bone from the upper back to the middle back, to a flat back, and then a nice natural curve, and then we'll go again. Rolling our hips in towards us, peeling up. So this is great for warming up the back, opening the hips, but also really working on engaging those deep abdominal muscles as we try to get each part of the spine, peeling up and rolling back down, bone by bone. Go one more time here for me. We're going to add a little bit more to it. Do I have to keep stroking you, Arch? We're going to stay up in our bridge and we're going to sweep our arms up and over the head to the floor behind us. Back of the hands on the mat. So it may be that you've got a different surface underneath you here and you just tune into that. Tune into the surface underneath your hands compared to the mat. Try to keep your arms here and roll down bone by bone, feeling maybe a deeper stretch. And actually this is quite hard for me to keep my arms on the mat. Rolling it all the way back down and then bring your arms back by your side. Ready to go again. Archie's fed up. We're going to tip the pelvis. We're going to roll up bone by bone. Keep those legs in line. Feel each part of the spine rolling up into your bridge. Sweep your arms up and over your head. Power through those arms. Feel like your arms are being pulled back behind you as you feel the back of the rib cage rolling down to the mat. The middle back, the lower back. Then finally your tailbone, we release. We bring the arms back by our side. Let's do this one last time. Flat on the back, we're going to roll up bone by bone through the spine. Really think about tucking your pelvis under. Power through the arms as they go over your head. Someone's pulling your arms back behind you as you roll all the way down through the spine. From there, hug your knees into your chest. Give your back a little massage. Good. And then bring the feet back down to the floor. Step your feet away from you by an extra step this time, so they're not as close in. From here, hands can be back on your hips, that nice strong center, pulling the abdominals away from your clothing. Start to lift your thigh in towards you until your knee is on top of your hip, shin parallel to the ceiling. And then place that foot back down. Switch to the other side, we lift the other leg up. Movement is coming from the top of the hip, not from the knee. So often what I'll see is the foot and the lower leg kind of sweep out first, or the movement come from the knee down. And as you do this, I want you to find complete stillness in your pelvis. I want you to keep the abs pulling in away from your clothing so there's no flaring of the abdominals and no arching through your back. So if you want to, you can also place like a Pilates mini ball underneath your pelvis, or even your hands underneath the back of your pelvis. And you can do this same exercise, especially when we build up, just to really help keep your back down on the mat. So you can have your back flat or a natural curve. We just don't want it to arch all the way up. And then from there, if that feels okay, we lift one leg to tabletop. And now we lift a second leg, really pulling those abdominals in. Feel that energy going through the center as you pull down away from your clothing. And now we tap one thigh towards the floor, let the heel tap, and then lift back up. Without your back rising, we go on the other leg, we tap down, pull those abdominals in, come back up. And we tap. So we're not moving from the knee down, we are moving from the thigh. Tapping down. And lift. Tap. And lift. So if anyone's got any back pain and you're starting to feel back pain as you do this, just go back a stage. If it's not challenging enough, bring the block back. Can you drop both legs down at the same time? You might want to squeeze the legs together. So we tap both and we lift back up. We tap both legs down. They don't have to touch the floor, and you lift back up. Hands can be underneath you. They can be out to the side. Whatever feels best. Just carry on with that for a moment. Doing whichever one feels best, or even having a breather. And if you're doing your double toe taps, we're going to add a little bit more to it. You can tap both toes down or feet. As you come up, start to lift your hips. We tap down And then we try to lift our hips, our pelvis, tap down, carry on with that. I'm not going to do any more because I've actually got some back pain today, and I've already taught some classes. I'm really feeling it and I don't want to overdo it. So if you can carry on with that and do, don't be afraid to come back to a march. And let's go 4 and 3. Whichever one you're doing, we go 2. And 1. If the legs are up, keep them up, squeeze them together. If they're down, keep them down. Opening your arms out to the side. Feel the back of the hands pressing into the mat. Tip your legs over to the right, picking up your left hip. We're coming into some side lowers, and then pull back up. Go to the other side. So if you want your feet down, you can have them down. Squeeze your thighs together. We're going to roll onto the outside of the foot. Let the other foot fully pick up, like off the mat. Feet are still together, but it just allows your knees to stay in line. So you tip onto the outside of the foot, other foot peels off, and you come back. That's if the feet are down. As you tip from right to left, whether the legs are up or down, take a pause and feel the opposite arm, the opposite rib cage, anchoring, pulling you back the other way, and then come back up and go to the other side. So we tip over to the other side. We feel the opposite arm pulling back, and then we come back up. And we just go one more time to each side. If you want to add a little bit more, if the legs are up, you can always tip your legs over to the side, straighten the legs, bring them back to center as they're straight, and then fold the knees back in, and then go to the other side. So you tip your legs over, straighten the legs, come back to center with the legs straight, and then come back in. Good. From there, bring your feet down to the floor if they're not already. Separate the legs, the feet, and just let your legs sway from one side to the other, just releasing those hips, the waist. And then come into a full body stretch. We're reaching from our fingers down to our toes, giving the wrists, the ankles a little rotate, and let those abs stretch out. If you have a Pilates ball or a pillow, you might want to put it underneath the back of the rib cage and really open out here, deepening that stretch. And then hug your knees all the way into your chest. Let's have a little rock from side to side, back and forth, giving your back a lovely little massage. Good. From there, rocking back towards, like rocking the legs in and back out. Build up a little bit of momentum so that you can slowly rock yourself up to seated. And you are done. I do apologize for the drilling, the guide dog whining, the sirens, the sun. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway. If you haven't already, do subscribe, like, click the like button if you enjoyed it. And sorry, I had a burp there. I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.